Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Didsbury Art Studio and I'm Sally, and in today's video we're going to be doing several different types of gathering the fabric. I've got a couple of different types of fabrics. You can see them a little bit behind me on the mannequin, and I'm going to do some little experiments. Some are going to be hand stitched and some are going to be on the sewing machine. So shall we get straight into the video? Let's do it. I've got this gorgeous organza fabric, which is 14 inches by 14 inches. And I'm using upholstery thread, my nice strong thread, sharp, thin needle. And what I'm going to do is I want a gathered effect. So I'm going to use some white thread here. I'm going to do small stitches on the top and wider stitches underneath. So at this point I'll do a small stitch nearby where I came up, and then it will be a longer one underneath. Always experimenting with trying to achieve different types of gathering in fabrics. So I'm just going to explore different types of patterns. So I'm just literally tiny weeny stitch wherever I stop. And then as you can see, because the fabric is very transparent, you can see that the longer stitch goes underneath the fabric. So I can change directions wherever I want to go, really. So I might do like a bit of a zigzag over here. And I guess at this point, you might want to leave me to it, because it might be quite boring to just watch me do crazy different patterns real time. So I'm going to pop you on a time lapse. I don't know whether you can see that, but I've done a bit of a sewing pattern all the way up to here where the thread ran out, so I've just left that tail end hanging off, and now I'm going to start something over here and go opposite, and I'll just keep going to fill the gaps in. I've pretty much covered the whole piece with stitches. So you can see I've got one coming up here, one up to here, one right up there, up here, and over here. So now I'm going to pull the threads. There's one. Pull that in, and then I'm just going to tie a knot, and then I think that's a really long one. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pull that in, and I'm going to pull. I'm not going to tie that one just yet. Let's just see how we get on with pulling the others. Pull that from the back. Okay, bear with me. I'm just going to place this how I want it to go and then tie some of the knots. Definitely a bit fiddly with all the threads. So I've pulled all the threads and I've secured them all with knots, mainly on the back there. But you can see it's all gathered up and created this quite structured effect. And that could go on my board with some of the other ideas that I've got going on over there. And I also want to try out another pattern and get another gathered effect. But that's that one for now. Okay, so I've got some yellow cotton fabric here, which is 11 inches by 11. And what I've done is I've done a spiral over here and one over here and here, and I'll just show you how to do it in this last little section here. So I'm doing the same process again, very small stitches on the top, and then you can see it on the back, bigger stitches. I'll show you that in a bit. I'm going to just start down here, small stitch. Obviously the bigger stitch is going on the back there, and just heading up. And then across. And I just keep turning the fabric, and I'll be heading across here, down, round, and finish off in the middle. You can see the spirals on the back, hopefully. And then we just need to pull the threads. Ready? Two threads on this one because I've run out of thread, so pull that one and that one. Right, I'll tie a couple of knots. Next question is, do we want to leave that a little bit rather than pulling it really tight like that first one there? So I've just popped a knot in that one. Do we do that one slightly differently? Do we want that? Maybe. Should we do those two tight and those two not? Or should we just loosen that off as well? Ooh, maybe. Like that one. It is a bit wacky, isn't it? It's just kind of gathers in the four corners there. I guess you could put a bit more stitching in the middle there, perhaps even another spiral. Quite different to that first one. And then the final one that I want to do is I'm going back to this gorgeous fabric that I got from Leon's in Chorlton, and I just think it's absolutely stunning. Look at the reflection and the shimmer on there. Gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another gathering piece, but this time I'm going to do it on the sewing machine. Take a look how long that takes and what effects we can get. So I'm going to use a 15 by 15 inches piece of fabric. And I've got my top dial on 0 and the longest length at 5. And I'm just going to start from one corner down to the opposite. And then you can see that is what the stitch looks like. As I said, it's the longest one. It is starting to pucker a little bit. Just going to literally do loads of different lines straight off the fabric. Sewn quite a few lines on there. I've got one coming up here, 3 going off over there, couple over there, and 1 over here. So I'm going to start pulling the threads, and if I feel that there's too many gaps in between, I'll just go back and add some more stitching. I've used some Gutterman thread, which is fairly strong, I'm hoping. We'll find out. To be honest with you, I'm absolutely just mesmerised. I said this before, but I'm just mesmerised by the actual fabric. So you can see there's all the gathering, very subtle piece. Thank you so much for watching the video today, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, please do consider subscribing to this channel. I provide free content every week, and all I ask is that you subscribe, like, and also share the channel. One of the three or all three would be fabulous. See you shortly. Bye.